On the path of introducing new figures to you guys, new characters, new things, I came across this Astrobot. I wanted to take a look at this just to see, how they progress. And I think they did a pretty good job. There's a couple of things I just don't agree with. The paintwork is okay. Sculpt is pretty good. I do wish he just had two big arms though. But I like this figure. Overall, I really like it. I love mechs. I don't talk about that enough over here. The articulation surprised me. One thing I might do, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to keep this, but if I do, I'm going to customize it. And I might take off the skirt. Articulation, I've already moved the arms out the way. So the elephant in the room is he has two gigantic arms, which I do not mind as much. I kind of just wish these arms were these arms because of having the little arms. I'm not really sure why we need little arms on this guy. It would have been nice if they made a mode where you can because he's extend. So it would have been nice if they made a mode where you could pop these out and then pop these out and plug them in. And so you could have options. That would be great. Even though you have the option of having both out, I would like the option to have one. Might try to pop these apart and see what I can do. So I popped them apart. I popped the whole figure apart. You can see it in the back right there. And I'm pretty much just swapping the connection from the little arms to the big arms, but I have to take the big arms apart to take the joints out, shoulder joint anyway. But luckily this thing is mainly screws. The torso came apart with no screws, so that was pretty fun. But this arm is just held together by one big screw, and once you take that screw out, the arm comes apart, the upper arm anyway. Main objective here is I need this big gray piece so I can glue it to the base of the other arm. And I tried to swap the joint, but one of the joints is too big. So I ended up breaking it, trying to take it apart. And I figured I could just glue it, and I did. I used this P40 glue. This stuff is amazing. I have a link in the description if you want this stuff. Just try it out and let me know what you think. It's formulated for plastic, and it bonded really well. That little gray piece on the other arm is stuck. It's not going anywhere. But I had to speed this up because I would have had y'all here for 35 minutes. I tried to take this arm apart a couple different ways. Luckily, it was one screw in the shoulder, and then the rest of it just popped apart. I didn't break anything, which is a plus because that means I can use these arms for something else if I wanted to. But that's a little circle piece. Once you break that off, you could just take that piece and glue it to the base of the arm. Not sure if anyone's going to follow along, but this is super easy. This was not hard. I thought it was going to be a lot harder than it ended up being. But once this glue dries, it's rock hard. No diddy. Initially, I was scared that the glue wouldn't hold as good as it is, but it's pretty strong. But now that this is all glued together, it's all said and done, I'm going to put it back together. I put floor polish in the joints too, just to make the joints a little bit tighter because they kind of sag. These big arms aren't heavy, but they're heavier than the small arms. Now, as I was putting this back together, I had left out the plug piece I was supposed to put in here. It's the original joint. I just wanted to put it back so it wouldn't have a big old hole in his back. I got a little ham-handed trying to take this apart. I took it apart before, but this time I broke it. See the wires hanging? They're not supposed to be hanging. It's supposed to be attached to them little silver parts over there. It's where the batteries go. But I'm not really big on light up features, so it's not a bother to me. So I just put it back together. Here it is, all said and done, all screwed together, all glued together. Everything works just how it should. Here it is back in one piece. For all though, this was a really easy custom to do. Once I figured out what I wanted to do, piece of cake. Also did swap the head because I was not a fan of that round head. This is some KO transformer I bought from DD's Discount a long time ago. I think this head fits this body perfectly. It does make him kind of look like a transformer, but I still like it a lot for in-universe aspect. The way I did that was I took the stock head, I took it apart, and the neck joint is a separate piece. So I popped out that socket. I dremeled out this head in the back. I didn't get it on camera, but I made room for that and I just super glued it in, and it pops in just like the stock head did. So it has all the range and articulation of the regular head. Even though it's square, it still will go any way you need it to go. As for materials I used my standard mini small screwdriver. I used floor polish. I keep it in this dropper just to make it easier to use. I use glue accelerator, again in the dropper so it's easier to use. And the infamous super glue P40. I'll have a link for this in the description. Here's everything that's left over. I'm pretty sure I could use this for something else in nature of the hobby. But here are some poses. I just wanted to show that it still will pose, it still will articulate, and the arms don't fall off. They're not broken or anything. And again, overall, simple custom. Once you get used to taking things apart, see me, I love to take shit apart. Ever since I was a little kid, my toy box was full of broken toys because I was always taking shit apart, and this is right up my alley. I'm happy it had screws though because I didn't really have to break anything. I can't even tell you how happy that made me as a customizer. Sometimes you have to break shit. These days we 3D print shit, and I just didn't want to go that route, so I'm happy I was able to get this accomplished with what I had in front of me. Once I figured out I wanted to use the regular sockets from the little arms on the big arms, and once I figured out how to attach it, everything just happened back to back to back to back. But yeah, for size comparisons, he is next to Mythic Legion's Frankenstein. Here he is next to a CT Toys Wolverine. Here he is next to Marvel Legends Beast. Just because I'm pulling stuff that's just next to me. Here he is next to Mezco Conan. Here he is next to one of my favorite figures of this year, the Memory Toys Orc, Kargath. This guy's pretty nice. I'm not going to lie. I do like it. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll have a link for it to Big Bad Toy Store if you want to check it out. It'll be in the description. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you know when I upload. And did I miss anything? Let me know, and I'm out.